Hi guys, good evening. Hi guys, good evening. My name is Vaibhav Srivastav. I'm the CEO of Abrico Luka Soccer Club and I'm back again hosting the 8th episode of Luka Live. Today as you know, we have been featuring various stakeholders of Indian football and world football as a whole. We have been trying to figure out what their daily routines are and what all happens behind the scenes. So today we have the agent special. Today we are going to interact with one of the most coveted, one of the most famous agents in Indian football, and he came all the way from the scratch. I'm going to send him a request. His name is Mr. Sonu Lamba. He's also the director of Four Flags Football Agency. So let me just get him in. So Sonu Bhai is going to be here and we are doing the 8th episode of Luka Live. Thank you for all the support, all the responses we have been getting. Sonu Bhai, good evening.
Bye. Good evening, bye.
Yeah, thank you. Sonu Bhai, first things first, thank you for taking your time out and being a part of the show. Thank you very much from the
No,
bottom of my heart.
it's my pleasure, man. It's my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Right, right. So Sonu Bhai, I will do the formalities first. I will just quickly brief you all how this show is going to be programmed and then we will kick off.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so I've got some questions, Sonu Bhai. I'm going to ask those questions one by one. And after you are done answering those questions, we'll take some questions live, okay, from the
All
viewers.
right.
So we'll do both pre-recorded and live questions. And in between, I have got uh, a one-liner segment, okay. We call it the
All right.
MCQ segment. So we'll also do that. Okay,
Perfect.
shall we proceed?
Sure.
Sure. So, Sonu bhai, I'm not going to be different to you. This is what I do routinely. Uh,
Okay.
First thing first, I'm going to ask you about your background story. Uh, I know you literally jumped the ship. You were a Navy officer, right? Marine officer.
Hmm.
Correct me if
Yes.
I'm wrong. And from there, your journey started as an agent in 2014. So please
Yes.
brief us about that transition which happened in 2014. How has your journey been so far? What all happened? And how different is it now?
No, like you said, I was in Merchant Navy. I sailed for almost 8 years. I was traveling the world. Life was sorted, but it's just that I was never there. I was never happy. I was never happy with the work I was doing. Uh, Things were not bad to say, but my heart was always into football. Even on ship, I always used to think that what has happened, what was the result of the match, and I was not much into European football that time. I was more into Indian football because uh, I I've been I and Sunil Chetri are childhood friends. So because of him, I was more inclined towards Indian football. I wanted to know what's happening in a match between Mohan Bagan and JCT than rather what's happening between Manchester United or Man City that time. So my heart and my mind was always into Indian football. So I was never, won't say happy, but I was never there. I was never my heart and my mind was never on shift. So in 2013, when my daughter was born, that time I decided that it's enough. I don't want to go back to shift. I want to do something, uh, you know, staying here so that I can stay close to my daughter. And I started figuring out, what alternate career I can pick. So there were a lot of things. There were a lot of things
Right.
going on in my head. Then, I was in Goa for a match between the Churchill brothers and Mohan Bagan. And then I was just talking to a few of the players, and then I realized that there's no proper guidance to these players. Most of these players don't even know what contract paper they are signing. They don't know what's going to happen if a player gets injured, whether who will take care of them. There are a lot of issues that I thought there is a rule, and then I came to know about these football agents. I read about this article where Ronaldo's agent Jorge Mendes made more money than Ronaldo. So that's when I realized, okay, there's this opportunity where there is I can earn a living for myself and my family, and something which I really love. So that's how I started learning more about this work. Started learning. I met few people. I met people in Portugal. I met people in Dubai, and then that's how I started. And then initially it was very very difficult because it was something very new. Clubs were not very happy that agents are coming in. Players were not very happy that the agents are coming, because even players were very skeptical. Why should I involve a agent, because everything is going fine. All these years I have been closing my own deals. Why do I need an agent? Why do I pay a certain commission to an agent? But then slowly, players are getting educated. Players understand the advantage of having an agent involved into closing a deal. Even clubs have started understanding this. So even nowadays, even clubs prefer that agents are involved, because if a club representative reach out to a player, they, for the first thing, the guy asks the player that, do you have an agent? Who should I speak to? So now things have changed. Things have become very very professional in Indian football. But back in the days, 2013-14, things were very very difficult.
Right, right. You gave us a summary of your journey. And as you mentioned, back then it used to be very difficult. People were not convinced about agents. Right. So
Yes.
I want to know one thing very personally, Sonubhai. I had a good friend, a childhood friend as well. And he was also a Navy officer, right? And like you, he also jumped the ship. He also changed the profession. So why is it? I mean, this is a very personal question. It's not football
Yeah,
related.
yeah.
So why is it that more and more people are switching jobs, marine jobs, navy jobs? Is it because they are getting a reality shock when they are going into sail, or is it because of, as you said, that there is no life on ships as such? Because the profession is supposed to be one of the most lucrative professions. So why do we see people changing jobs, especially marine related jobs?
No, it's not that people are changing job just in marine industry. You know, the it's that's the way things are in India. Our education system is like that. Now, with time, things have changed a lot. There are many more career options for someone who graduates after class 12. They have many more options as what they want to do. With internet coming in, there is a lots and lots of opportunity. But when I passed out class 12, you know there were not many options. So most of the, like, either you're going to do engineering, or you go into medical, or become an architect, or you become a lawyer. So there were very handful options. So engineering was not something I really wanted. That was, that becoming an engineer was not a choice, not something I really wanted to do, but something I had to do because I have to make a earning for myself. And that's how I
Right.
got into merchant navy. Yes, I was fascinated
Right.
by the kind of salaries people earn in merchant navy. Money was a very very big factor. But when I went on board, I realized that money is important, but money is not everything. I realized I need life much beyond money. I want to be around people, and I want to do something which my work should not feel like work. I should love what I do. So in shipping, for example, if a machine is not earning, machine is not working, so there are a lot of engineers who lose their sleep over it, and they'll keep thinking about it.
So
I should try this, I should try that, but I realize that's not me. When they were discussing about a problem, in my mind, I'm thinking, who scored the first goal in that game? So I realized that this is not for me. So it's not only in shipping that people are switching jobs. I have friends, uh, who have who did a certain course, but they're working something different altogether.
right.
So that's the way it is
So
now.
it wasn't right, right. So from beginning, like you always wanted to be uh, involved in football. That's very obvious, right? And even when you joined the Marine ranks, football was always there in your heart,
Yes.
and you you became an agent from there. But Sonubhai, do you think that having Sunil Chetri as a client eased your progress right from the outset? Because you had not just one of the players, you had like one of the icons, one of the legends. He's also the poster boy. He was the poster boy back then. So you had one of the most coveted stars, not just in Indian football but Asian football as well. So do you think that having him helped you?
No, of course. You know, uh, if I can be honest, if Chetri was not there, I don't think I would have had this affection towards football at first place. I might have been, you know, sitting somewhere in middle of an Atlantic Ocean right now. Yes, growing up like every other Indian kid, my first love was cricket. I've grown up watching cricket. It was only after when, I think we were in class 10th when Chetri played for School India. That's when, my affection, my love towards football started increasing. When we started watching Chetri's matches, Chetri used to play for a Delhi club, city club. We used to go for those local matches. That's when my love started. If uh, uh, Chetri was not in my life, for sure wouldn't have been where I am right now. And more than being a client, he's been a mentor. Uh, he you know so when I came into this line, he was very clear that I can help you as a friend, but I cannot help you in your profession. That journey you have to learn yourself. So I cannot be your first player that you will sign. So you sign your players, and because he wears a 11 number jersey, so he said, I'll be your 11th
Right.
player. Sign your 10 players, and I will not call any player. I will not ask any of my friend to sign for you. That you have to learn yourself. So I really appreciated that he did not try to handhold me. He did not try to spoon feed me, which really helped me to learn the business. He really helped me to understand how these things work. There are a lot of players who rejected me, a lot of players who didn't pick up my call, a lot of players who after listening to my first pitch that I want to be your agent and I help you in your career. After my first call, they stopped picking up my call. The first player who trusted in me was Anwar Ali, who's in Round Glass right now, Round Glass Punjab FC. He was the first
I
player
think in
who showed
2000,
faith that
2013, I think in
yeah.
2013 he was with Mohan Bagan or Dempo, one of those clubs.
After that, the first signing we did was I closed a deal with Mumbai FC. So
Mumbai FC.
Anwar signed for Mumbai FC. Yeah. That was my first ever deal that I closed. And after Anwar, then because Anwar is one very reputed, respectable figures. After I signed him, a lot of other players started trusting that okay, if a player like Anwar is signing an agent, then I'm sure there is something extra that a agent can get for me as well. Then after that, Rakesh Masi signed with me. Then Jafri signed with me, and then after that, it wasn't that difficult to sign players. After I signed my 10th player, then I signed Chetri.
Who was your 10th player, by
And
the way?
then my 10th player was, I'll tell you, Jagrup, goalkeeper.
That, all right, all right. He was with
Yeah.
Indian Arrows and United Sports Club. Huh?
Yes. Yeah. And then he signed for Delhi Dynamos. So Jagrup was my 10th player.
You
Then,
you were the one who intermediated that deal.
yes. So then signed Chetri, and then Chetri signed for Bangalore FC. That was the first time when Chetri signed for Bangalore FC. I was involved.
Okay, so everyone who's listening, who's following this broadcast, you have your answer. Who convinced Sunil Chetri to join Bangalore FC. The man here itself. So, Sonu Bhai, you started your own agency, right? Four Flags. From the beginning, it was Four Flags, or you used to have another agency.
No,
It was Four Flags,
from beginning it was Fort Flag.
right? So, one of the things that must strike people, that must really sell out, is the name and the logo of the brand. I always say that your name and image should represent you, and you chose a very unique name, Four Flags. I'm sure it must be related to the four corner flags we have on the pitch all the
Right.
time. So who gave this name to you? Where did this come from? Did it come by instincts, or did someone suggest you? Because I
No,
really like the name.
no. When we were incorporating the company's name, so the guy who, my accountant, he asked me to come up with 5 6 names so that they'll apply, and then they'll check what name is available. So we came up with a lot of names, and I used to keep thinking about it, keep discussing with my family, my very, very close friends, that, what about this name? What about this? What about that? Everything I could think of. Then suddenly, I was just sitting one day, and then this thing I was watching, in fact, I was watching a game, and then, how the game is just between these four flags. So that's why, I came up with the name Four Flags, the game within. And when I came up with this, I discussed it with my friends and family, and everyone loved it. And that's how I came up with this name.
So it was you, huh? The owner
Yeah.
himself. I thought it must be someone else, but you really chose a very striking name. I think you have one of the best
Thanks, man.
names among the agencies. Yeah.
Thank you so
So
much.
uh, we know you are the face of the company, but we would also like to know who are the people, behind the scenes. Tell us something about your back end and front end teams, whatever teams you have working for you week in, week out.
Hmm. No, so we have a lot of scouts who are working with me. So there's Prachya Sarkar from Kolkata. There's Harish Bhai from Mumbai. Jithin from Kerala. Priyesh from Kerala. There's another scout will be joining me soon from Kerala. So once we have done the formality, I can share his name also. So these are this is the team. Then we have a team of lawyers, who work with us. There is a the accountant team that works with us. So in whole, they all work together, so that we what we promise any player that we sign, that once you sign with us, the only thing that you have to take care of is play football. Rest, everything will take care
Wow.
of you. We don't want you to worry about your tax. You don't have to worry about any legality that may happen, may occur in future. You don't have to worry. If you need your help with social media, we'll take care of it. You just tell us what do you want. So in fact, there are times that a player will just call us, and he'll tell me that this is my budget and I want a good car in this budget. Can you just shortlist 5 cars for me? So a job like that also will take care of. So we tell them anything. We want to be your one-stop solution. Just give us a call anytime, 2 o'clock in the night, anything you need, just let us know and we'll take care of it. All I am asking you to do is, when you step onto that side of a white line, give your 100%. You do that job and we'll take care of things outside it.
That's how it should be. It should be a transparent, you know, open way approach. And I really like what you said. And most of the people who are watching this broadcast, they also, they are also picking up new things. So Sonu bhai, do you have any fixed timetable? Because I know agents need to be active even at midnight. You have to talk to clubs, talk to players. So what's your schedule like?
No, like you said yourself, there is no schedule. There's no schedule. Like there's no Sunday, Monday for us. There's no morning, evening, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. No, a player or a club official can call you 1 in the night or 6 in the morning. So for example, you can go, Like for your family, you're always busy, but for your family, you're always free. As long as you have your phone is charged and you have a proper internet connection, you are working.
So you don't have any fixed
Yeah.
routine, fixed timetable.
No,
You're always there.
nothing. You're always there.
And the same goes for your team as well, right? The people who
Yes,
work for you.
yes. So
Right. Fantastic.
whosoever I have handpicked myself, I only ask them two things that one, honesty. It doesn't matter if you make mistakes. Everyone will make mistakes. Just be honest about it. Be upfront about it. Second, be available. If a player is calling you, pick up their call. You made a mistake, tell a player I made a mistake, but pick up their call. There is nothing more frustrating for a player when the agent is not picking up their call.
True.
But I would definitely. I'm very very lucky to have a team that I have. They're very hardworking, very honest. They're they're much more passionate than I am. They watch all local league matches. Like uh, I'm not even ashamed to admit it that I don't watch matches of underage groups. But these guys, they're up to date. They know who's the best player in under 14, who's the best player in under 16, which player is doing good in which state league. So I'm really, really blessed to have the team that I have.
Right, right. They are doing a very fantastic commentating job, and
Yes.
when the boss is happy, everyone else is.
Yes.
So, so you are working with a lot of players, and statistically, I think your agency has the highest number of representations in the national team. You have around five, six players, if I'm not wrong. So, can you
Hmm.
quickly tell us about the clients you are managing now, and who are the ones, according to you, to keep eyes on? Who are the future prospects?
No, to be honest, when we sign a player, for us he's a player to watch out for. You know, because we spend a lot of time before approaching a player. We spend a lot of time before making our first move. So I don't want to sign every player because you'll not be able to do justice also. I want to sign a player I believe in because when I feel from my heart that this player has something and this player and I can go a long way, that's when I want to sign that player. I don't want to sign a player who just had a good game. So for me, all my clients, all the players that are signed with our agency, for me, those are the players to look out for.
Right.
All of
How
them.
many you have now?
It's very. We have around 55 players.
55. And all of them are
Yeah,
Indian guys, right?
yeah. They're all Indian guys. We are not into foreign players as of now because like I said, a lot of your reputation is entirely depending upon the kind of players you sign. So I want to be 100% sure when I'm suggesting a player. So that's why I'm not much into foreign players, but yes, we are working on it. Soon we will be introducing a few of the best foreign players in the country.
Right. So I was coming to that part only. I wanted to ask you about your future plans, future projects that you have in the
Hmm.
loop. So, what kind of things are you working on at the moment? Are you trying to also recruit some women footballers? Which departments are you specifically looking at?
Uh, Vaibhav, can you give me just 5 seconds? There's someone at the door.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Your time starts now.
I'm so sorry, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sonu bhai, sorry to interrupt you. I think that is Sunil bhai's sister. She's asking you if you can see her messages. Can you just give her a hi? And she's also asking who just came by.
Hi, Bandhu. Yes, I can see your messages.
All right. All right. Yeah. Please continue. Please tell us about
Yeah.
your future projects.
No, so like we have like you know just happened that Bandana just messaged. So Bandana has started. Uh, they have started this player representation company as well. They take care of all the uh, sponsorships and marketing of all the athletes. So we have tied up with them. So now they take care of all my players' uh, commercials and commercial deals, getting them all kind of sponsors. And recently, like you asked for football, female football players. So we have been helping out few of the female football players in this lockdown. So we have plans for female footballers as well. We have some plans which we're gonna roll out soon with all our players and how we can help them with not just football but the commercial part as well because Bandana and her husband Anand, that's their big stronghold. So they are already taking care of a lot of our athletes, and apart from our athletes, they have athletes like Saina Nehwal and Karun Nair. So they, you know, so that is one of the things that we have been working on. That soon we're gonna roll out a plan for all the other footballers as well. And like like I just mentioned that we are working on foreign players for a recruitment as well. So all these things are we are working on it, and soon we'll make an official announcement about it.
Fantastic. We are really looking forward to it. And are you also
Mm.
representing coaches and managers?
No, no coaches. And to be
Only
honest,
players.
I've not even thought about it as of now. But let's see. Can't say about the future, but right now I'm little skeptical about handling coaches because you know it. I feel it's not I'm not there yet. I don't want to handle coaches because it becomes little that part is little tricky.
Understood. So your philosophy is giving your everything
Hmm.
to the players as of now.
Yes, yes.
Right, right. So, Sonobhai, before we started this session, I got many questions, and most of them
Hmm.
were related to Sunil Chhetri. Now, we know Sunil Bhai, as a player, we have heard of him talk on a lot of podcasts, give a lot of interviews. So, we know a little bit about his career. But I think you are one of the only people who has grown up with him, right? You spent your childhood, you know him as a person more than a professional. So, how was growing up with Sunil, and how difficult or easy is it to maintain your professional and personal ties with him, since you are also his childhood buddy?
Uh, Growing up with him was a lot of fun. It was really, really, really good. He was very mischievous, very, very naughty. He just loves to put his friends into trouble. That's how he was. Now he stays a lot. He's very different now. How different now than how he was when he was a kid. About being his friend and being his agent. I think over the years now, we both have understood, where to switch between a brother or a player and an agent. So it's not difficult at all. We both understand our roles and where we are, and that's how it is. So it's not difficult at all. Initially, yes, when I got into this business, there's suddenly, my childhood friend becoming one of my player was, yes, it took some time for me to understand, how to strike a balance. But now it is not that difficult. It comes very natural. In fact, yes, Sunil I've known him for years, but I see all my players like that. I see all my players like as a friend. I want to be someone they can trust blindly. I want to be someone they can talk, not just about football. If they are having issues in their personal life, if they are having issues with finances, anything. I tell them that you can talk to me about anything and everything, and that's how I want to come across. So that's why
Perfect.
it becomes very, very easy for me to strike a balance between these two.
Right. So one more question related to your childhood. Sunil Bhai, I think, wanted to be a cricketer. We all wanted to be a cricketer. Correct me if I'm wrong. So, did you also aspire to become a sports person from your childhood? Do you also want to become a footballer or cricketer? Did you have any choices as such when you were growing up with him?
No, no, I'll tell you, it's a little funny story. So, uh, Sunil, like Chetri, he came to our school, Army Public School, Dhalakua in '97. You know, before that, lot of players wanted to be professional footballers. But when they saw him play, we realized that that's the difference. He was he was exceptional. I can't. I do not have right words to explain how talented he was. He was really, really good, and people used to come and watch him play. That's good he was. His dribbling, his passing, his scoring ability was exceptional. It was, I think, after Mr. Bob Houghton came, he changed his style of play. Otherwise, his earlier days, if you watch him play during his initial days of Mohan Bagan, he used to love dribbling
Yes,
people. He used to love dribbling
Jesse
people,
Taylor.
taking shots. That's how and imagine, at a school level or a state level, he was magical with his dribbling skills. He was really, really good. So
So
yeah,
the rumor of Sunil wanting to become a cricketer is not correct, right? You just said that
no,
he
it's not that.
was always into
Actually, whatever I have known of Sunil, he's never been like, this is what I want to do 10 years from now. Maybe he has
right.
it in his, like, even now, like, if someone asks him that, what do you want to do, after you hang your boots? He doesn't have an answer. He's like, I'm enjoying my time. So even in school, he never said that, I want to become a cricketer, or I want to become a footballer, or I want to become an army officer. But one thing has been very, very clear from childhood till now. He always says, whatever I'm going to do, I'm going to give my best. So if I become a cricketer, I want to be the best cricketer. If I become a footballer, I want to be the best footballer. If I become an army officer, I want to lead by an example. That's the kind of person I want to be, and that this is what he lived by.
And that
So
is
coming
what
back to,
has
yeah,
made him.
yes. So coming back to the question, yes, when he was not there, a lot of us had this aspirations to become an athlete, to be a footballer or a cricketer. But when we saw him play cricket or football or volleyball, we realized, okay, we are way too far to be that place where we can actually think about becoming a professional athlete.
Right. I can second that thought because I also wanted to become a football player and I had given trials and all. But eventually I realized that sport was not for me. I was very far from the expected level. So we are both on the same boat.
Hmm.
Uh, uh, Sonu bhai, this is
Hmm.
a critical question, okay? This is a criticism, and this is not from me, from a viewer. I'm going to ask you a question that criticizes super agents. By the way, before I use the term super agent, I'd like to ask you, do you like that term super agent? Should I call you super
No,
agent? Because I use
no.
you don't. Why is it so?
To be honest, I like when people call us player consultant.
Okay, so I will,
Like,
but this question has that term. I will refrain it,
yeah.
refrain using that word at that term. So, all the top agents in India, they are mostly seen chasing the ISL talents, players who are destined to play ISL or players who are already in the ISL. So, as a result, they have overlooked the lower divisions, second division, I League, state leagues, even the I League to an extent. So, how do you reflect? How do you reflect this kind of criticism? What your thoughts are? Do you think it's true that top agents are only after those who are playing in the topmost level?
No, for us, it doesn't matter if a player is playing a state league or I league, second division, I league or ISL. If we can place a player into a professional club, that's all which is needed. It doesn't matter where the player is coming from. What matters is where we can take that player from and place where. It's not that we overlook. There is no. For example, if a player is playing a I League second division, we go and sign that player. If we think, if a player is good, we sign that and we try to place him into a club. If we can place him, well and good. If we cannot place him, then, we do not want to just sign a player. We want to sign a player only if we can do something about it. There are so many players, and so when I say so many, it will be in more than 50, 60 players that we have helped them to get a club. We have helped them to guide them. We'll help them what to do in their career, how to take care of things, but we have not signed them. Because I believe once you sign a player, then it becomes, then I lose my sleep over it. If I've signed a player and if I'm not able to place him, then, I'm always, that thing is always on my mind. So it's not that we overlook these players or we overlook, and, it's, the reality is we have now from this year, we have 11 ISL clubs, 10 I League clubs, then second division clubs. Second division clubs, they, most of them, they don't want agents involved. And I understand. Then there are I League clubs. So there is a very limited number of players that you can place into these clubs. So that's why as an agent, and I can, and I'm talking about myself, but I'm sure all the other agents will agree. We want to sign players who we can place. And India, India is a big country. So there is a very high chance that we will miss out a very talented player playing somewhere in Madhya Pradesh or Odisha or Manipur, but always on a lookout. We are always talking to players. We are always talking to coaches that, if there is a talented player, just please refer it to us. If there is a talented player, just let me know. I can talk to a bigger club. We keep talking to, clubs who are playing in the state league. From our end, whatever we can do, we try. But yes, it's sad, that we cannot place all the players. A fantastic top player. A player who had a really, really good season 2 years ago, one bad season, and then next season you're not able to place him. So it won't make sense signing like 15 players and you're not able to place any one of them. Because then a player also feels that, I am doing a fantastic job, but my agent is a failure. So we are also looking out for players that we can place them in, place them somewhere at least. But saying that we have players we picked up from second division, we have players we picked up from a state league, we have players, of course, then I League and ISL becomes a bigger league. From there, we do get a lot of players. But we do look out for all the players from state leagues and second division clubs as well.
Right, and you mentioned the limitations working with the lower division clubs. You said that most of them don't even want agents anywhere near the scenes. And you mentioned that the most important thing is to get players, clubs, employment opportunity. You just can't sign someone and then waste their careers. So I understand the thought process. And how many players you have? Do you have a count of the numbers? Have you segregated the numbers? How many players you have from the ISL? How many players from the I League, and so on?
No, that I won't be able to give a number right away. But we have So the list that we prepare, it's not segregated on ISL player or an I League. It's like our player, be it a state player, state league player, or second division player, or I League player, or ISL. For us, it is Four Flags player. Then we keep a track how he's doing. Then we keep we take that and we start talking to different clubs. Whichever club needs a certain kind of, because every player has a very different style of play, and then we talk to clubs. If you're looking for a certain kind of a player in certain position, just let us know. We have this player. This is his price bracket. This is he's available after this date. So this is how it works. So it's not, there's no segregation for us when we prepare our list that this player is a league player or a second division player or an ISL player. Like for me as a representative for Four Flags, for me like Sunil Chetri or a young player who's 16, 17-year-old playing in a state league, for me there is no difference. Yes, when an ISL club they will see a lot of difference between these two. But for me, there cannot be a difference. Then if I see these two players differently, then I'll not be able to do a justice to either one of them.
Right, right. That was very insightful to hear. So there are no segregations. You represent
Hmm.
them as a whole. You don't treat them differently. Everyone is the same, right?
Hmm.
Everyone gets the same service as well.
Yes. Yes.
Perfect, perfect. So, Sonu Bhai, if someone wants to be represented by you, what is the criteria of getting represented by you? What are the things you seek in place? Like someone anonymously messages you and asks you to represent them. What are the qualities or features you look at? How do you do your scouting?
No, like a lot of players reach out to us on social media. Someone or someone will reach out through WhatsApp or they'll call us. The first criteria, they should be playing somewhere. So if a college student who is his third year final, not playing a professional football, if he reaches out to us, then there is a very very less chance that we'll be able to help him. But if a player is already playing a professional football in a second division or a state league, then we take his profile, we check his what all has he's been doing, how he's been performing, and if we can place him, then we'll sign him. If we cannot place him, then we won't sign him. Because then
Right,
I tell these players also, keep your opportunities open. It is very very easy for an agent to sign a player and then sit over it. Then let the player do the hard work. If he becomes a big player, then he already under contract with me. If it doesn't, I'm not losing anything. I don't like that. I want, if I can place a player, I want to sign him because I might not be able to place him, but some other agent might.
right.
So I tell these young players, keep your options open. If I'm not able to place him, there is no contract obligation. You can reach out to some other agent. You can reach out to a club directly. If you want to be a professional footballer, you are 17, 18-year-old playing in a state league, you need to be hungry. You need to be desperate. Do whatever it takes. Give 10 trials if needed be. Reach out to agents, reach out to clubs. That's how you make it. It doesn't, like a lot of players think that, okay, I'll sign an agent and my career is done. I am sorted. It doesn't work this way. If it was that case, none of my players will ever go without a club.
Right.
So that's how it is.
And how do you scout them? Do you track their data, or do you follow the traditional way of watching them play live or watching them on TV?
Both.
Or do you use both methods?
Now we use earlier, a few years ago, it was traditional way. We watch their matches, we get their feedback, we talk to their coaches, we talk to their teammates, how the player is on the field, off the field, everything. But now with the technology coming in, we do follow their data as well. How much he's putting in, what kind of a player he is, how his attitude like, how is his character like, how he is off the field. We try to find out everything.
Right. So one thing I picked out from your excerpts, you mentioned that one criteria of getting represented by you, by your agency, that the player has to be playing somewhere. He has to be a professional
Hmm.
player, cannot be an amateur player.
Hmm.
Amateur in the sense he must be playing in a recognized league, cannot be a
Yeah.
school boy or a college level player, right?
Hmm. Right.
Right. Sonobhai, before we proceed to the next segment, I will just quickly remind the viewers. You can send your questions here, and Sonobhai will answer as many as he can. So you can start sending questions now. We'll be doing the live question and answer segment. So please send your questions and please type it in English because I don't understand Malayalam. Do you understand Malayalam, Sonobhai?
No, no. I only know
Okay.
Chetta.
What? Come again?
Chetta, brother.
Okay. Okay. Chechi and Checha. I also don't know
Yeah.
Malayalam, so I'm also getting confused. Uh, so now we will do the MCQ segment now, multiple choice
Hmm.
questions, and you have to pick
Hmm.
one option, right? And this will
Okay.
also feature some one-liners. You have to give very quick answers in words, okay?
Right.
So I know this first question is going to strike you in the wrong spot because I know you follow one club and you like one player uh, a lot. He's not an Indian player. I know who he is, so I'm going to give you two options. You have to choose one. And I think it's very obvious. You might have already realized who those two names will be. So tell me, Leo Messi or Sunil Chetri?
Sunil Chetri, man.
Sure.
Sure, sure.
Okay. No, I just wanted to confirm. uh, playing Chelsea or playing against Chelsea or playing against Real Madrid? Which one you prefer?
Real Madrid.
Oh, yeah, right. You don't like to play against us. I mean Chelsea.
No,
You know
because
it's a
I'm a
bit tough.
Barca fan. I'm a Barca fan and I'm a Barcelona fan. So there's nothing bigger than El Clasico.
But you must be aware that Barca always struggles against Chelsea. Record is not.
I don't. The last match I remember, I would not agree.
No, I'm not talking about the last match. I'm talking about last 5, 6 matches. You cannot boast about it. Anyways, on the bike
Okay, some other
to
time
give
then.
it a stick. Yeah, sure. Uh, tell me which one you prefer, messaging players and clubs or calling them up?
Messaging or calling.
Yeah, in business.
Uh, it's very difficult to pick. I mean, uh, nowadays everyone prefers messaging, but if you need an urgent answer, then you prefer calling. But yeah, messaging is more convenient, and it's everyone prefers messaging these days.
So I'm going with messaging because you gave a
Yeah.
very diplomatic answer. All right. Uh, WhatsApp, not WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Which app you like the most? WhatsApp is not
Uh,
included.
Not a big fan of either one of them, but I would say if where I spend the most time, if I have to pick one of them, then it's Twitter and Instagram.
You have to pick one. You cannot choose two.
Okay, Instagram,
Instagram, right? Your favorite stadium outside Bangalore in India?
Salt Lake,
Perfect. And your favorite holiday spot?
India or anywhere,
Anywhere, can be anywhere.
any place in South America. But if in South America I have to pick one, Argentina.
Yeah, Argentina, I knew that. Yes, so no, I had only four. Uh, I
Hmm.
don't have more than four. So we will end this segment here. I'll
All right.
wait for viewers to send some questions. Before that, Sonu bhai, you must have kept a track of our club. Must have seen me post some updates, some stories, pictures. So, do you know about us, Lucas Soccer Club? Do you have any idea
Yes.
or
Yeah, in
background
fact,
and all?
I got really intrigued when there was a news that you guys might be coming to the second division or I League. That time I got really interested. So now you can tell me if anything is happening, then it will be really wonderful. Having a club from Malappuram, it will be crazy.
We wanted to, take part in the I League. That was our initial plan, but because of the pandemic, we had to put the plans on
Yeah,
hold. So, in the near future, we will be absolutely there, but we are trying to, grow our club organically because
that's
we don't
wonderful.
want to go up somewhere and fall back. So maybe we might be seen in the second division I League before
Oh,
the I League,
wonderful.
but it is
And
not confirmed. You will hear officially from us once it's confirmed,
okay,
once it's
perfect.
done and
Okay.
dusted. So we are working on it. And you have come to Kerala, right? Uh, Many times to
Yes,
watch matches.
yes.
You have been to Malappuram or you went to Kochi?
No, I have been to Malappuram once, but there was I had come for an event with Chetri Bhai, and once I had come for seven. There was this match, and Sunil Bhai was there. He played a game for some time, and I have not seen such passion. I have never seen such passionate fans. Like in one thing, like in Kerala, what I've seen, they don't only love the player, they love players' family, they love players' friends, they love players' manager, they love anyone who's close to the player. They want to
True.
meet you. They want to talk to players' brother. They want to talk to players' family, and that's a different kind of passion. I have not experienced such passion. Like all over the place. People admire players, cricketers, footballers. But in Kerala, if they love you, they love you as a whole. They love everyone about. They love everything about you. They love everyone who's close to you. I, it was the my first experience with Seven was crazy. I will tell you, for a moment I was scared because I have not seen such crowd. I have not seen uh, such passionate crowd who just do anything to have a glimpse of Chetri Bhai. There were guys following our car on bikes for almost 5 to 8 kilometers, and I and Chetri Bhai were like so happy that look at this play. This is the kind of love football has. It was
And
crazy.
I can
One of
totally,
one of the basics.
yeah, yeah, I can totally verify your claims because you were talking when you came with Sunil Bhai, but I have been to matches, with random anonymous players featuring literally no bodies, but still those matches used to get 20,000, 30,000 attendance.
Wow.
And if you go across, if you go across the social media profiles of Malayali players, I'm talking about the grassroots players, amateur players, players who are not there. You can see they have 1 lakh 50,000, 60,000 followers. I don't know how that happened, and that too organically. So they
Yeah, yeah.
have their own fan base. You must have
Not
seen
true.
that, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, in fact, for AFC Asia Cup, I had gone to Dubai. So if I meet a guy from Kerala, they would know CK Vineet. Everyone, and I'll ask them, who's your favorite player? CK Vineet. Who's your favorite player? CK Vineet. Exceptional feeling, man. You go to a foreign country, and because uh, if people know Virat Kohli, Sachin Tendulkar, yes, you're not shocked. But if someone knows uh, a CK Vineet uh, or Udanta or Gurpreet or Amrinder players, it's a special feeling. I really like it. When in my friend circle, when people talk about football players other than Chetri Bhai, it makes me very happy that people have started following football. People have started knowing. People talk about different ISL clubs. People know about scores. You know, and these are the people who never looked anything beyond cricket.
True.
So things are changing, and things are changing at a really good speed.
Agreed. We need to,
Yeah.
match up with our neighbors first. We need to compare ourselves with Japan, Asian countries. I agree things are
True.
changing at a good pace, but we still have 10, 20 years to go. We are still behind on many aspects, but we can see the positives. We have three leagues now. Previously, it was ISL, I League. We are all confused. Sonu bhai, I've got a question from Tasso. He's asking, why don't we see Indian players in Europe? We saw
No,
Sunil bhai, but talking about others.
no, there are a lot of issues. One, you know, that foreign quota restrictions. If
No,
a
in
club is
in
building a
Europe,
team,
in Europe we don't
yeah,
have foreign quota. We have homegrown
no,
quota.
there is a foreign quota thing that your country has to be like in England. There is a rule that your country rank should be below 70,
Yes, yes, that
and
is there.
then you have to fight a case if the ruling is ruled in your favor. Then yes, you'll get an opportunity. It's not that like you will see a lot of people talking that Indian players do not want to go to Europe because of the big salary that they earn in India. Because yes, the kind of salary clubs pay in ISL and few of the I League teams, a third division or a fourth division team in Spain or England might not pay. But honestly, in my experience, I have not come across a situation where a player has declined an offer from a European club just because of money. I do not want to encourage any of my player to go and play in Europe just because of a marketing stunt. That okay, that
Marketing. Yes.
because the moment a Indian player will sign a club, everyone in India wants to know about. They'll start following, and a digital world like today's, these things have become really big. So I want a player to go, you know, if the coach likes the player, coach has seen the player, coach see the player in his system. Yes, then it makes sense. Money is not an issue. Money will never be an issue for a 17, 18-year-old or a 20, 22-year-old, because he knows when, if he'll go, try his luck. Maybe, it will be a failure for a lot of other people, maybe a failure for them. It will be a success for him. He'll come back as a better player. So and I'm just speaking for myself and my players, this has never happened with me. That a player rejected a foreign club offer just because he wanted to earn more money in ISL or I League. We keep trying. We do talk to clubs, but then because of there's a certain number of foreign players that he can use, especially in, like a lot of people ask, okay, not in Europe, why not in Asia?
I was going to ask
Because
that.
yeah, because, then Asia in AFC there's a rule you can have 4 foreigners, 1 Asian.
Yes, only
Why
one
would
Asian
why
player.
would yeah why would you give a chance to a player who's not better than any of your local players? Like in any
Agreed.
ISL or I League team, why would you sign a foreigner who's not better than the Indian players?
Very true.
So I think as a whole, once we start improving, the youth system start improving, we start producing better players. I'm no disrespect. Players that we have right now are doing the best they can. They work really, really hard, whatever they can. But it's just that the foundation has to be like even better now. And yes, the pace we are improving is slow, but we are improving.
Agreed.
There's much more knowledge to all the players, all the coaches. There's so much information available. We are improving, and I'm sure one day we will be there, because there is no dearth of talent in this country. We are a country of 1 billion people. and
I'm
people
really, I'm
involved.
really
Yes, yeah. We and yes, everyone criticizes when I criticize, right? But in the end, then I just ask myself, whatever I am doing, try to be honest, try to do the best you can. A player will try to do the best he can. A coach will try, the federation will try, and everyone. And I can tell you with my a journalist, a corporate, a club, everyone wants football to reach, uh, uh, the place where we all wanted to see.
right.
We
And
all
Sonu bhai,
criticize when
as
we
you
are
mentioned,
upset, when we are angry.
right, and you mentioned a very important fact that football is a very big sport. It has many departments. It's a vast sport, and we have got stakeholders, a lot of people into many departments contributing and supporting the growth of football. And we have been trying to bring as many stakeholders as possible from each department
True.
and just know how things are run behind the scenes because we don't see journalists, we don't see managers coming to shows. We see only football players or coaches, just two of them.
Mm.
So through this unique program, we are trying to feature as many guests as possible.
No, no.
And I hope that you will keep an eye.
No, for sure, man. I really appreciate the job that you guys are doing. This is this is what we need. A little encouragement, little exchange of knowledge. This is what we all need.
Right. And we hope to see you. Uh, we hope to see you in attendance in our games. So we might invite you, and you
For
should
sure,
come
man.
and
It
give a
will be my
visit.
honor.
See all the players.
For
Right. And the
for sure.
last question, Sonu bhai, last question is from Aditya 25. Do you think the level of I League is as good as the level of ISL? Or this has been a debate for long, long time. What are your thoughts on ISL versus I League in terms of quality?
To be honest, no, I do not see I League as a I League versus ISL. I don't know why. Yes, this debate is there, and because there's so much emotions involved with, especially I League clubs, because it has been there. It has been I League clubs have been supporting Indian football for years together, but I don't see I League versus ISL. I feel they're both developing Indian football in a way. Now, once a player have an exceptional, really really good season, he goes and play into the ISL. If you compare the level, there is a difference between the kind of facilities available in an I League or an ISL club. So on what level, I do not know what Aditya means when he asks, whether he's saying what will happen if a I League team play versus an ISL team. No one can predict
Yeah,
that.
I
I
think he's
can't even
talking about
predict
that.
what will happen. I can't what will happen if Bangalore United will play against ATK, because football is such,
True.
anyone can beat anyone on a given day. So if asking
Right.
about facilities, yes, there is a big difference, because ISL clubs are backed by big corporates. Footballing term
Absolutely.
wise, I do not think, because it's the kind of training you have, it's the kind of players you have, that's gonna determine the level. So that I do
Absolutely.
not know, the right answer to that question would be, and I do not see I League versus ISL at all. I see both of them are working really hard. My massive respect to all the I League, ISL, second division, state club owners, because in the end, everyone is uh, putting their money, their time, their efforts to develop Indian football. So
Absolutely.
we are all together in this as one, and that's how we're gonna take Indian football to another level.
Right. And as you said, both are important and vital towards the development of football. Ultimately, like it's the lower division leagues where the players are scouted and picked from for obvious reasons.
Hmm.
So both are interconnected and both have a relation.
Yes.
Right. Right. So, no, we will we'll just wrap this show now. And
Hmm.
I have one last message before we leave. one closing remark.
No, my thing is like I said, whosoever is involved into Indian football, yourself, me, anyone, even if you're remotely related to Indian football, or you know, we should give our best. Stop. We should stop pointing fingers at others that he's not doing his job. That's why we are not there. Everyone should start working. You give your 100%. Once everyone start giving their 100%, we are in the right direction. Yes, the pace needs to be increased. It's gonna, we'll reach where we all want to reach only once everyone involved start giving their 100%, start pushing to themselves to the limit, and for sure, ultimately, we will be there.
Sure, sure. Thank you, Sonobhai. Uh, Thank you very much for featuring in today's program. So we all heard a lot about you because we didn't see you many places. We saw your quotes and interviews, but like coming live on a platform, I think you have not done much. So I
Yeah.
think this might be one of the rarest opportunities where we are going to see you live in public domain. So it was great talking to you, and it was a pleasure to host you here. Thank you again, Sonobhai.
Thank you so much, Vaibhav. Thank you so much for having me. Had a fantastic time, and I really, really wish all the best to Lucas Soccer Club. I hope to see you soon in second division, then I League, and I wish you guys all the best. And thank you so much once again for having me over.
Sure, Sonobhai, we will be looking forward to more interactions. Maybe we'll try
Sure.
to bring you as soon as possible for one of the games. So that was Mr. Sonu Lamba, football agent and director of Four Flags. So, guys, thank you for being a part of today's broadcast. We'll try to feature more and more guests. Please keep an eye on it, and please give us the highest engagements possible, because ultimately it's the engagement which motivates us, pushes us. So give all types of comments you want. We don't mind negative or positive feedback. We just need your answers. Yeah. So Sonu bhai, thank you very much,
No.
and
Thank you, bye.
take care of yourself. Take care of
You
your
too, bye.
family.
Thank you, bye.
Okay.
You
Thank
too.
you,
All
and
right.
thank you
Thank you.
guys. See you also. Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye.